If only we could travel back in time. Whoa, right where we belong. Maybe we'll never need a reason why. Whoa, I'm dancing to the
Hello everybody, Sabi here, and yes, X marks the spot. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're reacting to another video from Game Theory called Game Theory, You're Wrong About Ash's Pikachu. So this is essentially a part 2 to figuring out what level is Ash's Pikachu. If you guys like want to know, want to see part 1, the link is right here, like somewhere. So in part 1 of figuring out what Ash's Pikachu or whatever. So in part 1 of figuring out on what level is Ash's Pikachu, MatPat confirmed in his own opinion that Pikachu is at least level 40. And there's also this whole thing that he says in, in his last Game Theory video, that there's this whole reset thing about going to the other region that it resets a Pokemon's level, which to be fair, I wouldn't call that making the theory a little easier, because it really is kind of hard to figure it out on what a level is this Pokemon really, because the anime really doesn't just doesn't like keeping up with days or anything. Because the Pokemon anime really doesn't care about what day or what time this happened or stuff. It really doesn't just be a very stable timeline, especially with the movies, where some of them can be canon and some of them are not. And to be fair with you, I sort of stopped watching the Pokemon anime ever since Pokemon X and Y, because to be honest, in my own opinion, it feels like they're just milking the franchise or just milking the show at this point, because it essentially is the same pace. Like, Ash finds a new friend, gets new Pokemon, he befriends a new Pokemon, he fights a legendary at the end of the show. He has to say goodbye to his friend and then just goes on to the next region and just find more adventures and stuff, which to be honest is fine, but it can be a little bit boring and just very common. I might get back to watching it. I actually saw a few episodes. I might actually get back to it. I just might, because I actually saw the new Pokemon show on Netflix. That's basically about the plot of Pokemon Sword and Shield, which is the current game that we are playing until, the new remake that's gonna come up. But enough of my opinions. I hope you guys will subscribe and like to this video. And not only that, and comment down below on what video I should react to next. Maybe another Game Theory video, or maybe a different video entirely. So while you're there, make sure to follow me on my Instagram. And, see my latest posts and my stories, why don't you? With that being said, I hope you guys will enjoy this video. Let's get just right into this, shall we? Okay, there is Pikachu.
Did we get him?
I think we got him!
Finally! After 5 whole seasons of anime, 276 episodes chasing this one Pikachu across Kanto, Johto, and the Orange Islands, we finally got him! That's a lot of episodes, Dan.
I think it's worth a celebration. Can we do the thing, please? Can we?
Yes, I think we can do the thing.
That is so true.
Prepare for
trouble.
And make it double.
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
MatPat!
Dan!
Team Theorist blasts off at the speed of light.
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
Meowth! That's a really weak Pikachu. You two bozos realize he's only level 40.
What?
But how can it be? We've covered nearly 300 episodes.
And 5 movies!
Jesus.
I don't know, maybe things pick up in the next 300?
Hello, Internet!
I can't
Welcome
believe
to Game
it still surprises
Theory.
me on
The
how
level
long
99
it took,
pain in the butt to any
Team
developers
Rocket
out
to
there
just
that don't
catch
think
that
through the
Pikachu.
details of their
Jesus
fictional
Christ.
universe.
You
Case
think
in
they just
point,
get,
the
like,
Pokemon
go after
anime.
other
Last
Pokemon
episode, we
instead
were
of just
presented
that
with a
one
problem.
Pikachu.
Season 14, Episode 1, the start of the Black and White arc. Pikachu is pitted against a trainer's brand new level 5 Snivy and loses. And not just loses, after landing one blow, Pikachu gets hit twice by Snivy and faints. It is a blowout, and it is absurd. At this point in the series, Ash's adventures have covered 600 episodes and 13 movies. They've been across 5 regions with a grand total of 52 badges. Like, it should not be physically possible for that loss to have occurred. Literally running the numbers, it should not have happened. And so last time we started off on an impossible mission, actually calculating
the
Pikachu's
link of the
real
video
level
is
at the time of the
actually,
Snivy battle to
again,
show
the link
how
of the video is
impossible
actually
Pikachu's
around here
defeat
somewhere,
here
so
would
if you
be.
guys
And
wanna
yeah,
watch
sure,
part one.
mechanics don't fully translate over into the anime, etc., but we can roughly translate what we know from the games into the anime to get a general sense of how strong Pikachu should be at this point in his adventure. But in order to do that, we had to watch the show. Literally every episode front to back, because guess
Again,
what, friends? Prior to our
dedication to
research,
Matt
there
and
was
Pat
no
with
full
this
and complete
series.
list of every battle Pikachu fights in the anime. Well, as our bleeding eyes can attest to, there is now.
There's
Long
no-
story short,
there's
I never
literally
wanna watch
no way I
Brock
can watch the
awkwardly
entire,
leering at women ever
Pokemon
again.
anime,
Last
just,
episode, we were
like,
able to get up
all
through
of
the
the
end of the
seasons
Johto
and stuff.
arc.
I
At the start
cannot
of
do
season
any of
6,
that, no.
276
There's no way
episodes
that
in,
people's
Pikachu
gonna
was
convince me to
standing
do
at
otherwise.
a shockingly low level of 40. But when you actually look at the data, it makes sense. What we found while watching was that he doesn't fight as much as you might think in the anime. Sure, Pikachu regularly blasts off Team Rocket, but for engaging in actual battles against other mons that can give him experience, Pikachu averages between 20 and 25 fights per arc, which isn't a whole lot relative to the number of episodes. Instead,
yeah.
he's usually sidelined for whatever shiny new Pokemon the anime wants to promote from that generation, giving him limited
Or just milk,
opportunities to
or
actually
just
get
milk
stronger.
these little,
So just
you know, Pokemon
how
products
powerful is
rather than
Pikachu?
characters
Well,
at
we've
this
got
point.
another 324 episodes and 8 movies to cover, and I am determined that this will not
Jesus
be a
Christ.
3-parter, so let's just get going. So much more. Always. You don't have to rub it in, theme of Pokemon Advanced. You don't have to rub it in. As we get started, a few quick reminders. To find the experience of battling Pokemon, if they're wild, I'm taking the route they're on and using the median level number for that route. For trainer battles, I'm instead using the mean level or average level for all the trainers on that route, adding them all up and then dividing by the number of trainers. With gym leaders and Team Rocket appearances, I'm just using the level of those Pokemon directly from the games. Here's the equation we're putting all that information into, which I went into in much greater detail last time. And lastly, we're taking Pikachu's total experience and finding the cube root because Pikachu is part of the medium fast EXP category. And if you have any questions about battles or the facts and figures that I use, a link to the full document is in the description below this video, right next to that subscribe button, go figure, which if you haven't pushed yet, you probably should, because let's face it, no other person on earth is gonna take such a dumb question so seriously. And you clicked on the video, so clearly you're at least moderately
Again,
interested in
dedication
getting
to
the
his
answers to
video.
these sorts of things.
I
So come on,
seriously-
join the
to
community
be
of
honest,
theorists
I should
already.
really stop saying that.
46%
But
of you
still,
aren't
the
subscribed.
fact that you
Right?
get to watch
Doesn't
all
have
the
to answer
anime
Which
and,
brings us to the next stop on our
movies,
journey,
it just
Hoenn.
really
And this
is,
is where things
not
really
dedicated.
get interesting. You see, there's a theory online written by Reddit user Joe's Cool that claims that Pikachu's level resets at the start of every other region, not including
That's what
the
I've
Orange
been
Islands.
talking about,
To
the
quote from
reset
that
thing.
original theory, in the
The
final
MatPat
Johto
mentioned
episode,
the last
Hoenn Alone,
episode.
James fires up a giant magnet which causes a bunch of stuff to come up and whack Ash, knocking him out. In addition, Pikachu gets trapped onto the magnet and his electricity is drained. These two events cause Ash to lose part of his memory and Pikachu to lose the power it gained through its journey. This explains why Ash and Pikachu seem to reset. They both get caught up in an accident that seriously hurts them. And this is a great theory that explains a lot. Or at least it
Okay,
would be
that's
if the
very
episodes
interesting.
didn't directly contradict all of it. And again, I know this because I gotta watch them all to do the theory. Sure, we see Pikachu
Jesus
get
Christ.
overcharged at the end of Johto.
His eyes must be bleeding. It just has to be oozing with blood just for just watching all of that.
The very
I
next
swear.
episode, the start of Hoenn, we're told multiple times that Pikachu is able to recover back to his normal state.
Pikachu's output is incredible!
It appears that Pikachu's electricity pressure has reached normal levels.
And all this is without even mentioning the fact that Ash's memory seems completely unaffected by all of it. A similar thing happens in the Shadow of Zekrom, the first episode of the Black and White series. In this episode, Pikachu and Ash get caught up in a thundercloud, and Pikachu gets overloaded by electricity electricity from Zekrom.
Pikachu was completely enveloped inside a powerful electric field. All that electrical energy Pikachu absorbed from the thunderstorm was too much.
And that would explain why Pikachu's not able to use any electric-type moves.
And while it does certainly seem to hamper him temporarily, Pikachu's level again doesn't actually reset, as even without electricity, he's still able to use advanced moves like Iron Tail that, as we see earlier in the anime, Pikachu had trouble actually learning. It's also worth noting that Pikachu fully recovers one episode later, and also Pikachu getting overcharged is a very common occurrence throughout the series, with no long-term consequences to his power levels. Anyway, all that's to say that there isn't solid evidence of levels getting reset here. Plus, it would ruin the fun of figuring out what the big number is at the end of this thing.
Like that, like just
the playable region for Ruby, Sapphire, and
without
later
even no
Emerald.
consequences.
This region spans 4 whole seasons of the anime, and Ash returns to using Pikachu as his primary Pokemon, which means a lot more battles for him. Things start off simple enough, just a basic journey following along the path of the games, but midway through, things get a little funny as Season 8 shifts to follow more closely with Pokemon Emerald in order to coincide with that game's release. You can tell this in Season 8, Episode 18 with the introduction of Juan, who's the 8th gym leader in Emerald, as opposed to Wallace from Ruby and Sapphire. The anime also includes the Battle Frontier, which is only present in Pokemon Emerald. In the end, there were 47 total victories in the region for Pikachu, nearly double any of the previous arcs. Rather than read all that information out, which would be dumb and long and tedious and no one wants to hear it, I'm just gonna list them here with the episode number, route, and level. Yeah, told you there was a lot. And like I said, the Google Doc will be linked down in the description below, so if you really want to dig in, you can find all the information down there. Anyway, the main place to stop is right about Meow. This is where Ash goes to the Battle Frontier and faces off against the Frontier Brains. Now, how the Battle Frontier works in Pokemon Emerald is that there are 2 categories of gameplay, level 50 and open level. Level 50 is the first class for Pokemon level 50 or below, and all the opponent Pokemon will be at level 50 themselves. Whereas open level means any Pokemon over level 50 can enter, and the opponent's Pokemon will match your highest level Pokemon. Fortunately for us, at this point in the series, Pikachu actually caps in at 47, so he only qualifies for the level 50 mode, meaning that all the Frontier Brain Pokemon are gonna level at 50. Love it when things just work out. After beating the Brains, he only gains himself 1 level, and so Pikachu finishes off the Hoenn region at level 48. Next up, Sinnoh, and this region, Hoenn was a breeze, nothing complicated, easy to follow, but I knew it was too good to be true. Sinnoh was determined to break me. Another 4-season region, another 49 battles, which you can see here. But the worst part, worst part was Team Rocket. Curse you, Jesse and James! In the immortal words of Markiplier, it's big brain time. So the first Pokemon Pikachu encounters in the Sinnoh region is Dawn's new Piplup. That's easy enough, it's level 5, all starter Pokemon are. However, in that first episode, Pikachu also encounters Meowth, Mime Jr., and Wobbuffet from Team Rocket. He of course makes quick work of them, but the issue is that we have very little to go on for the levels. Mime Jr. is probably the least complicated, as we see him use the move Mimic in episode 17 of season 9. We also know that move-based evolution is considered important within the Pokemon anime universe, as later in Diamond and Pearl, Apom learns Double Hit and soon after evolves into Ambipom. So even though time has passed since Mime Jr. used Mimic, he can't have leveled up, otherwise he would have evolved into Mr. Mime, meaning Mime Jr. here in this battle is sitting at level 32. Wobbuffet's a little harder to figure out, but we know that he was traded back on Route 34 of the Johto region, which would have made him at about level 11. So going on the idea that he's traveled 2 regions and taken into account Pikachu's level gain, I put him at level 40. The hardest in this instance, though, is Meowth. Last time we saw him lose a battle was in Kanto, where I estimated his level to be 31. It would be safe to assume that he grew at the same rate as Arbok and Weezing until they were released, which means by this point I've estimated Meowth to be level 70, which I know seems high, but once again, it's not going to make all that big of a difference in the final tally. The last anomaly in this region is the battle power that Ash partakes in during his time back in Greenleaf Town. Episode 36 of Season 12. The battle power in Diamond and Pearl is slightly different to the Battle Frontier in that the only option is level 50, with all Pokemon being dropped to that level in your party regardless of their actual level. As this throws off a lot of calculations, I instead opted for the open level approach from the Battle Frontier, making his opponents the same level as Pikachu, which at this point is 58. And now,
58.
we're finally here. After Pikachu fights a few more Pokemon, we are finally in the Unova region. This is once again where the series tries to do a soft reboot by trying to make Ash and Pikachu seem like a new team.
Kanto Region's Pallet Town, home to this young man, 10-year-old Ash Ketchum, dreaming of one day becoming
The Pokemon Master.
However,
even though
we know
he
that this is
literally,
absolutely
even though he-
100% not true. Ash retains all of his memories of the journey thus far. When Dawn rejoins the team, we get
Gee.
this interaction.
It's been a long time, Ash.
And later, when Dawn
Gee.
specifically asks about
Wow.
Brock cooking for her and Ash on the journey,
He'd give Brock a run for his money. Who's Brock, Ash? He's a good friend.
Jesus Christ.
we also know that Pikachu retains all the moves that he's learned
Yeah.
up to this point,
No
like Iron
heck.
Tail, which
Yeah.
a new Pokemon trainer
Right.
is unlikely to
Of
have
course
taught a
it-
brand
of course
new
they-
Pikachu.
I
Even
remember the
show
crossover.
only
Yeah,
half-heartedly
so
adheres to its own reboot.
they did.
As in that very
Yeah,
same
that
episode,
so-called
we get
reboot
this.
didn't do anything, did it?
At a time like this.
And the world's most powerful Pikachu, too.
Hard to say Pikachu reverted back to level 5 when he's actively being called the world's most powerful Pikachu. So, with all that being said, it means we're here. We finally arrived at that big final number. Pikachu's level in his battle against Snivy
Was
what is it,
level 58.
90? 100? 200? Well, strap in because that number is, after compiling
Okay.
all
All right, let's figure out
148
what
Pikachu battles
what
across
level he is.
600 plus
Trying to
episodes and
figure
doing
out.
really elaborate calculations
All right.
to get there. Drumroll, please. Pikachu's final level is
Okay.
61. Kind of underwhelming, right? Like, he's traversed 5 whole regions. Most people are
Okay,
getting close to that
that's
level
still a
after
high
doing
number.
single
He
run
lost
through a
to level
game.
5
Even if you
Snivy.
didn't like some of my estimations for Team Rocket battles, if we remove them entirely from the equation, it would still only put Pikachu at level 59.
Yeah,
Any
because,
way you slice
yeah,
it,
because,
he's not as powerful
I'm
as
not
we
sure
all
if
think he
I'm not
should
sure.
be.
Can
I've seen
Pokemon-
forums of
All right,
people
so,
online saying
can
it must
Pokemon
be
really
100
can become,
if the levels went over 100.
Okay, so I gotta stop this video. I'm sorry if you don't like me pausing, but does people count as experience points for Pokemon? Because MatPat did say that if we remove the Team Rocket team, Pokemon, that means Pikachu has to be at least level 59. But here's an interesting question, and again, sorry if I ask this question again, but can people also count as, experience points for Pokemon, since we know that Pokemon gets experience points from each other whenever they win a battle, but can that also work for humans? Possible theory. Okay, wait.
100, he'd be
I'll have
like
to play back a little.
9. Any way you slice it, he's not as powerful as we all think he should be. I've seen forums of people online saying it must be 100. If the levels went over 100, he'd be at level 59. Any way you slice it, he's not as powerful as we all think he should be. I've seen forums of people online saying it must be 100.
We always
If the
thought
levels
he's,
went over
level 100, let's
he'd
be
be like
honest.
1,000 at this point. But having sat down and painstakingly scrubbed through all the episodes, looking for every tiny detail, I can tell you definitively that that is not the case. He is like low 60s at best. So what's that mean for our battle against Snivy? Long story short,
Bullshit anime
Snivy
power.
still should have been toast. As I mentioned at the start, Pikachu is the first to land a hit with a successful quick attack. To give Snivy slice it, he's not as powerful as we all think he should be. I've seen forums of people online saying it must be 100. If the
Let's be
levels
honest,
went over
all of us
100,
thought
he'd
that
be
he
like
was at least
1,000
level
at this
100.
point. But having sat down and painstakingly scrubbed through all the episodes, looking for every tiny detail, I can tell you definitively that that is not the case. He is like low 60s at best. So what's that mean for our battle against Snivy? Long story short,
Bullshit
Snivy
anime
still
power.
should have been toast. As I mentioned at the start,
Same.
Pikachu is the first to land a hit with a successful quick attack. To give Snivy the best possible chance, we're gonna assume that this is just the buffest level 5 you could possibly get, with an HP of 21 and defense of 12. And let's also say that Pikachu is my lower estimate of level 59.
Again.
At that level, the lowest
Again,
Pikachu's
BS
attack stat could be
BS
is
anime
69, with Quick Attack's base power being 40 and the randomizer feature set to its lowest setting of 0.85, we can use the in-game equations to figure out that Pikachu's attack would do 95 damage, and 21 Pokemon Snivy HP minus 95 damage equals negative 74. Snivy could be knocked out 3 more times with just that one hit. And to really round it off, let's just say that somehow Snivy did survive the quick attack. When it goes on the offensive, its attack and special attack stats are both 11. Pikachu's lowest possible stats here would be HP 110, defense 52, special defense 64. Let's also say the randomizer hits at its highest point, and both attacks are critical hits for Snivy, with Tackle having a base power of 50 and Leaf Tornado being 65. The most total damage that could be done would be 32
in this episode has
points.
Leaf
Pikachu
Tornado.
would still have 78 HP remaining. So where does all this leave us? Well, I did it. I calculated what level Pikachu is, a task that no sane person has ever completed. I'm
surprised no one's insane after trying to figure this out.
Just painfully repetitive. Anyway, kudos to you, Ash. Sure, you lost against Snivy, you don't know they have to weaken a Pokemon before catching it, and you didn't realize that bug Pokemon are weak against flying types, but you've managed to win against the Elite Four using a Pokemon that's half their level, and that's gotta account for something. So maybe you are better than everyone gives you credit for.
So is it a water type?
No, Ash, it's a grass type.
Never mind, still an idiot. But hey,
that is so
just
true.
A theory. A
game theory.
Thanks for watching.
Alright guys, that was it for today's video. Listen, Ash, I like you, but you had to be the most dumbest Pokemon trainer I've ever seen if you have lost to a level 5 Snivy that you can easily been taken out by just using Tackle. You had to be the most dumbest Pokemon trainer for even thinking that Trico was a water type. Since what makes you think that's ever a water type? Have you ever seen a Squirtle? You know, Squirtle that's blue and is a water type. What do you think Trico? What do you think attribute is Trico when he's green? For starters, frickin' Ash. I'm sorry. I love Ash, but this guy has to be the worst Pokemon trainer. You lost. I'm sorry, but I think I had to say for all the anime, the Pokemon anime fans, that this has to be the most dumbest thing that Ash has ever done. For even the thought that he had to lose to a level 5 Snivy. And his Pikachu, and for his Pikachu to be level 60 or 59 or whatever, it's just the stupidest thought that I can say for the fandom of the Pokemon, fans. This is the most stupidest sequence on the fact that he had to lose to a level 5 Snivy. A level 5 Snivy! And the worst part is, I think if I remember correctly, he even caught a Snivy and brought it to a championship, like the Pokemon League, I think. Why? But there it is. Map had figured out the exact level of Pikachu, and his exact level is level. But here it is. Map had figured out the level of Pikachu, level 59. Which was not really, which a lot of people was not expecting from Pikachu. Even I had to say, even I have thought he was level 100, and and could have at least taken out this Pikachu with a quick attack. And I don't think that that's ever gonna be confirmed on Snivy just using Leaf Storm. And could just taken out that Pikachu easily. Come to think of it, I don't even think Snivy could even use Leaf Tornado or Leaf Storm on using level 5. I don't even think he can use that technique yet. But to put in my own opinion, I'll tell you the real answer how that Snivy really won. By the power of plot juice. But that was it for today's video. Again, if you guys like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And while you're there, again, make sure to follow me on my Instagram, why don't you? And the link is right there somewhere in the video. With all of that being said, I hope you guys will enjoy this video. And I'll see you next time, because I'm about to record another game theory video. Anywho, that's it for today's video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.